Hey everyone, Jim O'Connor here in the Ed McMahon control room. Today I'm in the graphics position. We're going to be going over the Ross XPression Studio, brand new, how to use it, full tutorial. Let's hop in. Alright guys, welcome into the Ross XPression Studio. This is the interface you guys will see right off the bat. Looks very similar to an After Effects or a Premiere Pro with different animations, auto keying. We have different objects here, materials. Seems very complex, but we're going to go over how to kind of use it. First thing you want to do is to find your exact class. It could be under Q&N if you're working on FDM12. If you want to do a training example, there'll be a couple options for you guys to kind of come in here and mess around with it. For now, we'll just start a brand new project. What we want to think about is what we're going to do with intention. So for now, I'll start doing a lower third. First thing you want to think about is I'm going to start with text, models, lights. There's a bunch of options over here in our object library. We also have material managers. Think of it more as colors, fonts, animations control. For the most part, we're just going to be using different objects and texts and adding different colors with them. So I'm going to start with a quad. I'm just going to go ahead and double click that. There's a couple ways you can move this quad and how to adjust it. Right down here in our object inspector, we can see there's different ways to manipulate these numbers here, so different heights, and I'm just clicking, holding, and moving my mouse up and down, kind of the opposite of what you do in Premiere. If you find a shape that you like, you can also lock this aspect, so when you adjust one, it adjusts both the others. So this is just how you find your quad shape and where you start from there. Moving over to the transform, this is where we can really put our quad where we want it. So let's position a lower third down into our kind of our TV safe options here. Right about here looks good. If you wanted to rotate it for some reason, give it kind of a cool look, you can do that in the second option. There is no real command undo here. There's no really command Z or go back. So what I like to do is just double click next to this number. For some of these options, that's an easy fix. So if you over rotated it, you just want to start over, you can just click right next to it and it resets it to 0. Say you want to make it a little bigger here, you can adjust the scale and find something that you're happy. Something like that looks good, pretty simple. Then I'm going to go to my material option. You can also go up here to your material manager. I like to stay down here, it just seems a little easier. In this window, I'm just going to right click new material. Now I can go and use this eyedropper, select any color if I want. If I know our Quinnipiac hex values, I can just put that right into there. Something like this looks good for now, so I'll hit OK. If I want to use this material in my quad, I'll just double click that. Now my quad is that color. I can go ahead and adjust this. I can edit this. I can make new materials. So let's say I want to do a new image. If I had an icon I wanted, I could bring in a Quinnipiac logo. I can do that there. If I had a video, a moving video that I wanted to bring in, I could do this here as well. Let's say I want to do something a little different. So maybe I want to do a white with a gradient for whatever reason. I can go ahead and select my gray, white, whatever I like here, drop down this kind of world globe icon, and this is where I can find different things. So video, textures, I like to use this gradient here as well. So this is just a white to black kind of gradient. Gives it a nice kind of generic smooth look if it's something that you like. You can do multiple quads and just kind of adjust these colors, adding them to this. Now you have a bunch of quads. Looking down in this object manager here, you have quad number 1. This is the first one we made, and this quad number 2 is the second one. And it's pretty easy. You can just delete these, move them all around. A quick shortcut for moving your quad, you can just click on your quad and hold control. Now I can slide this all around and let go of control when you're done. Alright, next I want to think about some text, so I'll just do a text here. I'll do my name for a lower third. We can now go to our font manager and adjust this font. Find some kind of font that we'd like. So for now, I'll go to something like Impact. I think works really well in this system. I'll adjust the size same way I did with my quad as well. You can add different borders and strokes. And then a similar thing, if I want to move this, I can just hold control. I can put it right on my quad there. So now I have kind of a basic lower third. You can see as I made these in our object manager down below, we now have our quad and now we have our text. If I wanted to move those together, I might want to group those. So this cool funky looking icon here is a group. Now I can just drag these right up, similar to Photoshop. So now both of them are in a group. I put those in a group and now I can animate this. Oops, sorry. If you select the group, now you can move the group as a whole. So So what you may want to do for your shows is to animate this entire group to move and kind of swipe on and swipe off. So what I go down to is our auto key down at the bottom. I like to go ahead maybe 10 frames. I'll select a key there, set and close, go back to 0. Now I can adjust this group's position to be off kind of camera frame here. Same thing, select and set a key. So now if I were to play that back, that'll kind of slide in right there, and you can do the same thing by sliding off. Whatever kind of look that you're going for is how you want to do this. You can also animate different lights to add different effects if you want a flare to come up. The rest of these, there's spheres, there's different cubes. For our basic purposes, we want to stick with quads. For something more advanced, you might want to add a logo to a sphere. A bunch of different options you can do. For the most part, you'll just want to come in here and build a lower third, and this is kind of the basic lower third that you'll want to do. So let's say you're happy with this, you like the way this looks. Now that we're in kind of ready to go mode, now we can go up to our sequence tab on the top right here. I can drag my lower third here. I can play it just to check and make sure that looks good. Okay. Now I'm happy with it. I can click the slate. Now it goes online. We are live up in the studio up on expression A. You guys can see it up there. If I wanted to put it in B, I could drop this down, go to B or C. I can hit my take offline button just to take that offline. And let's say I have a show with 10 lower thirds. Okay, I'm going to bring in 10 here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go, 11 because it started at 1. And so now I can just change the names down here. So this can be Ed McMahon. This one can be a soccer player that we've interviewed. You know, it could be whoever it might be. We can change all these names to be different lower thirds. So now I have my whole show lined up. I'm just clicking online when I'm ready, going through my entire show here, and I can do credits at the end. I can have my entire show built up here and make it nice and easy and ready to go. If I wanted to change the overall template, I can go back to my layout and change how this looks in this layout tab. But if I'm ready to go for my show, I go to my sequence, I just drag in my template, and I can adjust whatever settings I want. And that's kind of it, kind of keeping it simple, making your show easy and ready to use. Alright, so that's kind of the basics on how we use our Ross XPression graphics. Hopefully you guys like it. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Very simple, putting it all in a template, building your shows, and then just adjusting minor details. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day.